We've got a new section, and it's going to be called. You ready for this?
Tell me.
You know what this is about because I've already prepped you. Yeah, ready? But to introduce it to the millions of followers that we have, the world. It's called. Ready? Dun dun dun. Ask Pete.
Oh no. G'day everyone, Pete Techman Coman here for another episode of The Tech Effect. And as always, my partner in crime, my good friend, my colleague, Mr. Mark, the bearded tech Skehan. Welcome, Mark, to the show.
That goes wild. Listen to him cheer in the background. Can you hear that?
I can hear it. I can hear it from here.
Could be a stadium over in New York there somewhere playing baseball. With no crowds. Have you seen that in the I don't know if they're doing it over there, but over here they're doing the footy and they're doing those pop-up faces just to try and make it look like there's a crowd. It's like you're playing it.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're actually taking it a step further here in the US. So like for the baseball, what they do is they'll have an empty stand, but on the TV coverage, when like if someone hits a home run and they pan out to the rest of the stadium, they actually have virtual crowds in there. So it's not like behind the catcher, they've got the cardboard cutouts. But what they do is that when you got the wider view, you have honestly these virtual
faces.
People are standing there, and it's the funniest thing because someone will hit a home run and it'll be going into the crowd. And normally people are trying to catch the ball, but everyone's just standing there because it's virtual.
Yeah. yeah. Digital technology at its best, eh? I suppose they can do it in games, they can do it on TV. Hey, Pete.
Exactly.
We have got a good show today. It's a little bit different from the last couple of shows.
Always have a good show, Mark. What are you talking about?
We always do. We're going solo today, though. We're not bringing intelligent people way more than us, like we did over the last couple of weeks. So
that's always a problem. If you're going to get someone on the show, make sure that we're smarter than them.
Yes.
All right. Unlike the last episode.
Yeah. Brooke was just insane, wasn't she? So, actually, speaking of intelligent, I'm going to test your intelligence a bit later. We've got a new section. And it's going to be called. You ready for this?
Tell me.
You know what this is about because I've already prepped you. Yeah, ready? But to introduce it to the millions of followers that we have, the world. It's called. Ready? Dun dun dun. Ask Pete.
Oh no. I hope the questions are easy.
Oh, this is going to be. This could make you look really, really smart, or it could be an epic failure. But we're going to give it a go, just because that's fun. But look, there's been plenty of stuff going on in the world. Last week we had Integrate.
Well, Virtual Integrate, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Virtual
Unfortunately,
Integrate.
we couldn't attend live, so it was Virtual Integrate.
Yep.
Did you attend any of the seminars at all?
I did. One specifically stood out to me was the education one on the first day.
Big in education. You do a lot of work in education, so you tend to go to those education focused seminars.
Gravitate towards that. Yeah, I do. It was quite a good show actually. Or quite a good session, I should say. I think it was the second session of the first day, talking about the challenges. And it was really sort of education tertiary, so it was university based, really. There was a bit of chatter and stuff on because it's a pretty good setup. They did a really good job of running that whole show, and Tim, the guy that was running it, doing a lot of the interviews, did a fantastic job. Yeah.
He does he's the MC normally at the Avia Awards.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Great at interviewing people and keeps it going, keeps the flow going, really, really, really well. So they'd chat down one side and you could enter questions, and so it sort of didn't get interrupted. But Tim was able to grab those questions and bring them into the interview and the session, which was really good. The panels. Look, I'm a big fan of panels. I think you get a lot of perspective. Different people's perspective, and I think the really big focus or the really big discussion points there to me that stood out were that how much well, ultimately in the current environment, how much the university budgets have squashed,
Right.
or been squashed, and what they're trying to do to, they're realizing that they can't not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to do something, because technology is still getting used, but how that's going to look going forward, and then the life cycle of that technology as well. So
how are they accommodating that? Are they trying to put in like cheaper technologies or cheaper solutions, or like, I mean, if their budgets are affected that much, like how are they handling the situation? And I'm guessing that not a lot of students are necessarily going back. I'm sure there's a lot more that would be online than ever before.
Right. So the thing that I sort of picked up on was that I don't think they're going to cheapen the quality of the job per se. I think what they will do is try to extend the life cycle. So I think I gathered most of them are on about a 7-year life cycle. Right. Their rooms, their spaces. So they're looking at seeing if they can try to nurse them through to 9 years or 10 years. Okay. And just try and continue to roll them over, but just
extend them, the life
band-aid them, nurse them through, and the theory, I suppose, around that is you really do, if you're going to do that, you actually really need to be making sure you're using top quality gear, right? So that it can last that life. But the other part of that is the learning spaces around. They're trying to build. It's the new buzzword, really. It's hybridized classrooms. How do we have this over here for people virtually, and then how do we have physically have people in here, and how do we sort of cater to both and do the same? I mean, my wife's going to uni, and they're a fairly big Zoom university. Mm-hmm. But you can still go into campus and still deal with that as well.
And what sort of technologies were they talking about, like rolling out? I mean, to cater for this increased online learning.
There was no brand specific, but it was really around VC, I suppose, as we know it, and how you're going to do that on a larger scale. And I think there's plenty of products that are going to pop up. There's already products that are out there that can cater for that hybrid space. Barco's WeConnect is a pretty of a killer product. But Zoom, I mean, Zoom's just skyrocketed. Teams is developing at a rapid pace, trying to sort of catch up to where Zoom's at.
But I would have thought that, I mean, over the years, I've seen, we've done a bit of work in universities around Australia, that they were pretty well already set up, like for example, like lecture capture. There was already cameras and recording devices and things already within the room. So granted that they weren't previously set up to do, say, a Zoom call or a unified communications call, but they were set up to actually record, and students could watch it at a later date. So I wouldn't have thought that transition would have been that difficult for them, considering they would have had a lot of these sort of technologies already in place.
Yeah, I think so. I think that as a from a technology perspective. However, I think the real challenge, and I've noticed this because I work in K-12. The real challenge has been not so much the technology; it's been the users.
Gotcha.
So they're trying to take people, like I'll talk to some of my clients, and they're like, Mark, this has been fantastic, because what we've done is taken teachers, what would have taken us 4 years to implement has now had to get done in 4 weeks.
6 months. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the skill, the teachers have had to learn it.
Yeah,
they've got no choice, right?
Yes.
And I've even had principals come back to me now and say, well, the learning we've had is actually we just need to put a bit more pressure and say, no, you have to do this. We don't. It's not so much nursing them through, and it's going. We're in a world of technology. You've got to get on board.
It's not a choice. It's being forced upon them, and everyone just has to
100%
scramble and make it happen.
Yeah. So that's really, and that was one of the questions that come up is, is that there's very much a lot of emphasis on the lecturer, the teacher, to get their skill set up. I mean, I know my wife has definitely come back half, and I'm going, I thought you were in the middle of a call, a Zoom, lecture. Well, the audio's dropped out, and the teacher doesn't know how to get it up and running, and they forgot to press record. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of forgot to press record. So that's why I think we're seeing products evolve, like like the likes of, I've talked about this before, the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro with all the processing and press record. It's a hard button. It's not something running on your laptop. So look, I think there's plenty of it's very much a watch this space. I think that we will see, now that the emphasis going on to hybrid classrooms, we'll start to see a lot of products pop up that deal with that. I think there's a lot more products now that are also trying to get Zoom and Teams certified as well. So realise the value that if we can just get that ticked off, then people have confidence to use our product in a Zoom room.
So watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah. I think next probably 6 to 12 months is going to be bucket loads of stuff going on. But,
exactly.
Yeah.
And this week we've seen, because we're a tech show, we talk about all things tech, not just necessarily AV focused.
Yeah.
Apple Epic Games. They're going
there's something that's going to start to unravel, and look, it's pretty huge. We'll just to give the rundown. Allegedly.
Apparently.
Apparently, here's the rumor is that so Fortnite and many people. So Epic make Fortnite, and many parents will be very, very happy. They would have noticed if they updated their apps on iTunes or Google Play, is that Fortnite is now not allowed in the App Store, no longer in the App Store. And this is because, allegedly, that Fortnite was trying to bypass giving Apple some money by doing in-app purchases. So I think it's 30%.
30%.
Yeah. Big figure. And which is probably the reason in-app, the thought behind it, I guess, might have been Apple's got enough money. I don't know if you heard. I don't even know if this is true, but I heard that Apple now has $2 trillion. $2 trillion company.
Insane,
right? And most of that's been under Tim Cook.
Correct.
I think, wasn't it? Yeah,
correct.
which is quite amazing. So it will be very interesting to see how this pans out over the next month or two.
Well, what's interesting is that Epic Games, I mean, they're not a small company either. So apparently in 2019, they turned over, I think, $1.8 billion.
Whoa!
Right. So they're not a small fish either, right? So what they want to do is their reasoning behind all this is that they want to reduce rate. They're saying, hey, Apple, we're giving you hundreds of millions of dollars a year in subscriptions, or just providing this service, as in the Apple iTunes store, and they're saying it's unfair, right? So, but the thing is, what happened is that they actually, when they actually did this, they had a lawsuit ready to go. They knew that Apple was going to turn around and react in this way. So as soon as Apple pulled it from the Apple Store there, they turned around and hit them with this lawsuit.
Boom.
Now, apparently, and people might say, well, hang on, they're the terms and conditions. If you want to play in the Apple ecosystem, then you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Apple have signed deals with companies like Amazon and some other big players where they're not paying 30%. Right? So Apple's there. So what Epic
doesn't it?
Yeah. So Epic is saying this is not a level playing field. You're giving preference to others. We're giving you all this revenue every year. So and with a game like Fortnite, it's such a huge game. that it may force players to actually go elsewhere. So like obviously Google has also done the same thing and pulled it from the Google Play Store. However, you can sideload it through an SDK on an Android device. So you can still install it and you can still play it if you've got an Android device. So maybe there's going to be enough pressure. Maybe Epic have enough clout to actually force Apple's hand on this one.
Well, I did think also that Microsoft are getting amongst the mix and getting in behind Epic Games, I believe. So, it's definitely a clash of the titans in there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Battle of the big boys.
Will be interesting to see how that all pans out. But yeah, I mean, look, you can understand both sides of the story. Apple's built this ecosystem. They're saying, well, you want to be a part of it, you pay 30%, right?
That's the model.
That's the model, but it's not the same model for everybody, and that's what Epic is complaining about. So
yeah. Well,
see how it all pans out.
That happens in every industry, doesn't it? I'm sure that happens in the AV industry, where I might be purchasing at this level, and the people that are purchasing more are purchasing at a tier 1 level or more different things.
Absolutely,
so, it happens everywhere. It's just that this is in a public company, I guess.
Yeah.
So look, what else is happening, Pete? The Gartner Hype Hype Cycle got released. I think it was last 2 days.
Okay. And, so that's for 2020, is it?
For 2020, yeah. It's the top 30 most transformational technologies is the right word. Yep. Technologies that are going to be the most transformational in the next 5 years. So they take 1,700. They evaluate 1,700 emerging technologies. They narrow it down to 30, and then do this big hype cycle. The cycles, if no one's ever seen it, I'm sure you've seen this, Pete. It's the peak. The first peak is, I just think their names are fantastic. Peak of explainable expectations.
Yes.
Which is what that means. We can take the technology and we know how to talk about it. Maybe, yeah, conceptual.
Yep.
The next one's the best one. Then it's a dip, and it's called the trough of disillusionment.
Yes.
So I guess that's where we all look at it and go, well, this isn't as good as anyone thought.
Well, that's right. A bit like 3D TV, right? It was up there on the top of the hype cycle. Wow, 3D TV, and then it dropped right down, and everyone kind of forgot about it.
Into the trough of disillusionment with the next one, and I guess it didn't make it to the next one because the 3D TV, because that's called the slope of enlightenment.
Right. Okay.
And that's where I guess that's where we would go, la, and we go, oh, actually,
you do that well.
Yeah.
Some sort of trained opera singer.
Yeah, well, let's not get into that in my what I do in my spare time. And then it's into once everyone's hit that slope of enlightenment, it's the plateau of productivity. So now it's something that we can actually do something with, I'm sure. But interestingly, there was bucket loads of AI into the peak of explainable experience. Bucket loads of I didn't even know there was all these different AIs. I just thought it was AI, right? The composite AI, generative AI, responsible AI, augmented design, explainable AI, formative AI. Crikey, how many AIs are there? Heaps. But up there, right at the top, right at the peak, social distancing technologies.
What's the world come to? Hey,
what's the world come to? So.
I bet you that wasn't on the hype cycle last year.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's come up there at a rapid pace, hasn't it? So that's the driven by media and obviously plenty of companies that are trying to. What's the buzzword in the COVID space at the moment for business? Pivot.
Right. Okay.
Companies that are businesses and every man his dog that is trying to pivot. Yeah, their business or their whatever they're doing in their life. So they're creating the social distancing technologies. Could it be a revolution? Who knows? We'll see.
Revolution or an evolution? What is it?
Could well be an evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, what I call it? I call it a forced evolution.
Yeah, because it's happening whether we like it or not. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not so much a revolution, right? You know what I mean? I think it's an evolution because it's kind of naturally occurred, but it's being forced at the same time. Like we're being forced to change behaviors. I think it's a forced evolution.
Well, it's a little bit like the teacher's scenario, isn't it? It's
exactly the same.
They have to. It's forced evolution. They have to evolve, or they'd be very not relevant very fast.
That's true.
Yeah. So
very true.
Anyway, Pete, I think it's time.
Uh-oh.
I think it's time. So
time to go? Is that what you're saying?
Not just yet. You don't get out of that easy. All right. So for all the listeners, we're going to do this.
And viewers, don't forget the viewers.
And viewers, yes.
And
yes,
viewers, yes.
Yeah. So, well, just quick little plug. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and just about every other podcast platform that's out there.
As well as LinkedIn,
as
Facebook.
well as LinkedIn.
We're everywhere.
We are. And if
back of buses.
And
everywhere.
I tell you what, we're on a bus. We actually are on the intro of the video, aren't we?
That's true.
Like the Facebook algorithms are doing is very, very, very good. Like I got a mate of mine who said, I watched one of your videos. He said, now I can't get you out of my feed. I'm going, that's how we start. But anyway, it's time. It's time for, you ready?
Yep.
Drum roll. Da, da, da. Ask Pete. Yay. All right. This is so how we're going to do this going forward. Yep. I've got some things for you though, Pete. But
gotcha.
What we want to do is we want to encourage a bit of audience participation.
Good idea.
Because we do, and look, as long as they're not smarter than us.
That's true. We don't ask us anything that's too difficult.
Yeah, that we can't answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is why I'm calling it Ask Pete, not Ask Mark. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So for the listeners and viewers out there, if you have a question, be it serious or a little bit of fun, send us a message. We're very easy to contact, Pete and I. We're on LinkedIn, as you say, we're in your feed, wherever you can find us, and throw us a personal message, or you can't really email us because we've got no Tech Effect email. We probably should do something about that. But anyway.
But they should DM you, right? If the questions are for me, right, I shouldn't be seeing the questions before I'm being asked.
That is right, because we want to make sure that you are set up to fail. I mean, win.
Correct. But DM Mark on LinkedIn or social media, you can find him there, and we will set up a Tech Effect email
100%.
address.
Yeah, and DM is digital message me, don't deep and meaningful me.
Direct message.
Yes. Direct message, digital message, whatever it is, it's just not deep and meaningful like it used to be, right?
That's right. It's not the same DM.
And you've had 1,000 beers, you sit down in the corner with your friend and you're stuck there having a deep and meaningful.
Reminiscing.
Anyway, today, Pete, in today's Ask Pete section, I'm going to hit you with the top 10 acronyms of the audio-visual, primarily audio-visual. Yeah, we'll call it audio-visual space. All right, you ready for this?
No.
Okay. All right, we're going to get some really easy ones out of the road because I'm trying to see if I can really test it. So let's go. AV.
That is
audio
visual. Come on.
All right. Okay. Let's get that's one. Ding.
All right.
Little bit of a digress here. It's IP.
Intellectual property. Or it is intellectual property.
Yes.
Right. Or internet protocol.
Beautiful. Yeah. 2 ticks on that one. You get 2 ticks.
So I get 2 points for that?
Yep, 2 points.
Okay,
here we go.
Yep.
You should know this one.
I hope so.
Because we've just unpacked the first 2, so this is going to be AVOIP.
Well, that would be AV, audio visual over internet protocol.
Oh, not intellectual property.
No, not on that one. No.
All right. There's some easy ones. Now, this one you should know this one. I'll be surprised if you don't. HDMI.
I was waiting for that. I knew you'd ask me that. I'm going to take a stab at it, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm not 100%
You don't know it.
confident.
Have we stumped you on this one?
I'm not 100% confident on this. I would lean towards high definition multimedia interface.
Oh, look at you go. Look at you go.
Is that
You
right?
smashed it. Yeah, you smashed it.
All right.
Ding!
Okay.
All right. SDVOE. Our good mate Jerry Wilkins, he'll be
Yes.
very unhappy if you don't know this.
Jeez. I have enough trouble just pronouncing it. Well, look, I mean, like the thing that comes to mind is like SD is standard definition, but that doesn't feel right.
They're selling. Doesn't go with what they're selling.
No, it doesn't, right? So it'd be the VOE would be video over Ethernet, right? I'm guessing.
Yep. What's the big thing they're selling? What's the big pitch, Pete? Come on. Apart from 10 gig.
Oh, jeez.
The fact is, I think there's another one of our friends, Jerry Raffo, signed a deal with Netflix. You might from around about the ISE time, and they loaded something. Does that give you? They loaded something into not Netflix, Netgear. Did I say Netflix? Netgear.
You said Netflix. Netgear, yeah.
Which to help support the rollout of AV over IP. Done a bad job of explaining that.
Yeah, no, I've What was it?
Software defined.
Oh, okay.
Software defined video over Ethernet.
Software defined. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yep.
Oh man, I thought.
Sorry, Jerry. Apologies.
Yeah.
Everyone
Okay.
at SDVOE.
I'm not overly confident on your ability to roll out the next 5 based on this. All right. SDI.
SDI. The I would be interface.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was. It doesn't seem right again, but standard definition. No, it's not the SD.
Serial digital interface.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Got off to such a good start. Now look at me.
Okay. So, SMPTE.
No.
I had to Google this. I couldn't. I
have no idea. Not my thing. Sorry.
Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay.
You should know this one because you were on the board.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this.
Or Bixie.
Yeah. Bixie. Building industry. I think it's consulting.
Yep.
Building industry consulting. Is the I industry?
Building industry consulting
services industry.
International.
Oh, international. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I should know that though.
Yep. You should know that. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure you're not going to know the next two. Give it on that.
All right, what are we up to? Which number is this?
This is number 9.
Number 9. All right. Okay.
Right. Avixa.
Well, audio visual.
It throws you a little bit, this one.
What's that?
Yeah, it throws you a little bit. The X throws you out. But yeah, you're right on that right word. Audio visual industry
experience.
Oh, yes. Integrated Experience Association.
Integrated Experience.
Audio visual and Integrated Experience Association.
Gotcha.
There you go. All right, here we go. Oh, and we're going to do 9.1.
Okay.
Because we've done Avixa. So you've got these letters going after your name. You've got more letters going after your name than folks stick it. CTS.
Certified Technology Specialist.
Oh, fantastic. That's you, I think, isn't it? At least.
Yeah. Something like that.
You're so modest.
Just
Right.
not with acronyms.
This is the last one. Now, this one was a real challenge. I actually had no idea, but I'm going, it's got to stand for something.
Okay.
Dante or Dante, depending on who you talk
Oh.
with. Dante or Dante.
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 And actually, it's an acronym, is it?
It is an acronym, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was an acronym.
D, because we live in the
Data.
world of
Digital.
digital.
Analog.
Audio.
Digital, audio, networking.
Network
Through Ethernet.
Through Ethernet, because they didn't want to call it Dane.
They didn't want to call it what?
Dane. I suppose if they'd have taken, because they just put through, right?
Through.
Digital audio network through Ethernet. Now, if they had not put through in there, it would have just been Dane.
No, it's not the same, is it?
No.
Dane.
Yeah. Imagine throwing that around the table. It's Dane. It's not working. It's not working. Through.
Dante sounds a little bit more exotic, doesn't it?
It is. Anyway, there you go. You've successfully got about, what did you get? You got AV, IP, AVO, right? It says 3, 4, 5. I'll give you, Avixa, 6.17, and I'll give you 2 points for AV over IP, I think, didn't I? No, IP. So you got about 9 out of a possible.
No, I think that's been a bit generous.
Yeah. I'm trying to inflate your intelligence here, Pete.
I know. Obviously, we'll totally
bring Brooke back because she's much smarter. She would have got all those, I reckon.
She would have got them all like that.
Just like that. That's right. Anyway, hey Pete, it's been
that was good. That was fun.
It is. So let's reiterate that if anyone has more intelligent questions to challenge Pete with that he might know the answer to, then please send me a DM, a direct message, or a digital message, but not a deep and meaningful, to my LinkedIn, and I will get them all prepared. Now I can hear my phone beeping. Actually,
people have started already.
Yeah. Because that's what artificial intelligence does. I'm going to open my Facebook and all the algorithms will sit there going, ask Pete questions. So.
Yeah.
Look, anyway, hey Pete, it's been good. You've successfully gone into the night.
I have. It's very dark here. I'll make sure my lighting is a lot better next week. I promise.
Look, it looks like it kind of looks like you're telling a ghost story, you know. The night was dark and stormy. All right, mate. Hey, look, it's been good to catch up with you.
It's always.
Keep an eye out to all our listeners and viewers. LinkedIn, we are flooding your channels with Pete and Mark's goodness. So
love it.
Find us on YouTube, find us on LinkedIn, find us on Spotify, iTunes, Facebook.
And if you can't find us, we'll find you.
We'll find you. All right, guys. Talk to you next week. Thanks, Pete. See you, mate.
All right. Thanks, Mark.